Hello everyone, Blaze here. Yes, you can finally put a face to a voice. After God knows how long it is, like 3 years or something. I figured I'd just do this. It's probably like the worst time for me to do it though. I've been ill all week. I've got giant bags under my eyes. I've got a very long ginger beard right now that very much needs to be shaved off, but I've just been too ill and lazy to do anything of the sort because I hate shaving. But anyway, this is going to be my Christmas and birthday haul, just a cool little amount of stuff that I got from my family over the festive period. We're going to start off with two things that aren't anime related. The rest of it's all to do with anime. I apologise if I'm not staring directly into the lens. I'm not used to using this camera yet, but I'll get used to it eventually. Anyway, we got Game of Thrones. This is the Telltale release of Game of Thrones, the video game. I really like the Telltale video game series. Ever since they did The Walking Dead, basically, ever since they dropped like the old style adventure game stuff with like the complicated point and click way of solving puzzles. Like, it's not really complicated, it's just pointing and clicking, but a lot of the puzzles were really obscure and difficult to figure out. I much prefer the interactive story way of going about things. Like The Walking Dead blew me away, and I've played all of them since. The only one I haven't played so far is Game of Thrones. But I'm really thankful to Telltale. Thanks to them, like, I read The Walking Dead comic book. I read the Fables comic book, which is what The Wolf Among Us was. And it finally got me to watch Game of Thrones. I wanted to play the game. I was like, well, I can't play the game without having watched the TV series. Let's finally watch the show that everyone's been talking about. So I watched Game of Thrones in the summer last year, and it blew my mind. It was so good. It's become one of my favourite TV shows ever. Game of Thrones is epic. I watched all 5 seasons in like 2 weeks or 10 days or something. It was ridiculous. But anyway, yes, I'm really looking forward to playing this. I just haven't made the time to do it yet. Because even though I was ill, I just didn't feel like doing anything. Like, even sitting down and watching anime was difficult because my eyes hurt so much. So yeah, that would have been a good time to play it with, but at the same time, like, I just couldn't. But yeah, I kind of want to sit and marathon the whole thing, but to do that I need like 12 hours or so. Like, to do that in a row, that's quite a commitment, but I would like to do that, but obviously I don't really need to. But anyway, whatever, let's move on. So that's Game of Thrones. Next thing I got was from my Amazon wish list. I got Dodo, the complete omnibus of Dodo. This is a manga. Manga is something I'd like to collect more of in 2016 now. Oh god. Yeah, I'd like to collect more manga in 2016. A lot of what I will be doing with manga though is I want to collect stuff like this specifically, like stuff that isn't too long, and because I don't have the space to have a 20 volume, 30 volume, or even just a 10 volume shonen release, or just a shoujo release, or anything like that. Just anything that's longer than like 3 to 5 volumes. I think like that starts to become an issue, like in terms of space. Like, there's stuff I would really like to have had, like Berserk, for example. I'd really like to read, but I just don't know if I can really have that amount of space committed to just a single thing. Like, I feel like that would be just, it's too much. Like, it's way too much. I have that problem right now with like Naruto and Dragon Ball and Bleach and all that on my shelves. Like, they take up so much space, and like just having manga do that as well, it'd just be ridiculous. Like, when I think like the hours of entertainment I can have from certain releases on my shelves, like, just to pull one out quickly, like Cat's Eye. This is 73 episodes and it's 2 DVDs thick. You know, 73 episodes is about 30 hours or more of entertainment. Like, this manga would probably take me, what, 5 hours if I was to, probably less than that, but I'm quite slow at reading. But yeah, it wouldn't take that long, and yet look how much space it takes up on this shelf. So I don't know, but anyway, yeah, Dororo is something I want to collect. Dororo I will be collecting. I'll be getting the Discotheque DVD, but this is the sort of stuff I want to get, like these omnibus releases of like classic manga stuff rather than any long running shonen series. Like, for me, that's, especially if it's got an anime as well. Like, I know this does have an anime, but a lot of stuff I'd rather get if it doesn't have an anime. Like stuff that's original to manga, and just, yeah, something that's much more condensed into a single compact story. The only long running thing I can think of right now that I want that is kind of similar to this is Buddha from Osamu Tezuka. I read online back in the day the first volume of Buddha, and I really enjoyed it. So I wouldn't mind getting that. That's 8 volumes, and that would probably be quite a large, significant chunk of my shelf space, but I might get that. But yeah, this is awesome. This is 844 pages. It's the complete stories of Dodo, which is a really awesome series. It's from like the 60s, but yeah, I really like Tezuka's stuff. I really like his manga stuff. Just a certain way of he tells stories, and I really like his art style, so I'll be picking up a lot of Tezuka stuff. In fact, you'll be seeing a Tezuka, almost a pickups manga video in the relatively near future, I think. Anyway, next, let's just go. I got some Studio Ghibli stuff. First up, I finally own my favourite Studio Ghibli film ever, Princess Mononoke, on Blu-ray and DVD. I've never owned a physical copy of this release of this film, which is ridiculous when you think how big my collection is. This is one of my absolute favourite anime movies. It's my favourite Studio Ghibli. In fact, it probably is. Yeah, this is probably my favourite anime movie, and I've never actually owned a physical copy. The main reason for that is here in the UK we get Studio Ghibli films on the television. Not all the time, but there's like marathons of Studio Ghibli stuff on a free-to-view television channel called Film 4. Yeah, and it just shows movies all day for free. Well, free to view or whatever. And yeah, and a lot of time they'll just put up a bunch of Studio Ghibli stuff, and I have Princess Mononoke on my, essentially TiVo, I guess, the UK version of TiVo, Sky Plus. Yeah, I've had it on there like for years now. So whenever I've had the urge to watch Princess Mononoke, I've watched it on there. But the one thing I have never done is seen it in high definition. So yeah, I'm really, really happy to have this. My mother got me this for Christmas. Stoked to finally have Princess Mononoke on Blu-ray, and just in my collection as well. This is obviously the UK release. Our releases are all done by Studio Canal, like a French publisher, I think. Inside, got the DVD and the Blu-ray. I believe that's the Blu-ray. Anyway, yeah, I believe I'm pretty sure that the special features are the same as the American release. The one downside, I think, to having companies like Studio Canal and even Disney actually release stuff like this is that you don't get commentary tracks for stuff like this. Like, you know, well, for example, like if Discotek were releasing this, you damn well know they would have commentary tracks. I have a pretty good example of that, in fact. Another thing that my mum bought me, I think this is for my birthday, she got me Horus, Prince of the Sun, which is a 1960s film. This is a Toei film, Toei animation, but it was obviously made, or I think it was made by Miyazaki. Scene design. Well, Miyazaki worked on it, shall we say? He wasn't the main guy, but he worked on it. But anyway, yeah. But this is it has some sort of like Studio Ghibli. I think a lot of people that went on to form Studio Ghibli worked on this film. Almost certain. But anyway, yeah. This actually has 2 commentary tracks on it, not just one. It has 2. One by Mike Toole and the other by Daniel Thomas something, who runs StudioGhibli.net or something like that, some website. Oh, Isao Takahata obviously went on to do like My Neighbor Yamada's and Tale of the Princess Kaguya and all that stuff. Like he worked on the film as well. But anyway, yeah, 1960s film. I think it's like 1968 or something. Yeah, I watched this. Really, really liked it. I really liked the style of it. I liked how old-fashioned it was. I like how it had musical elements, which is something that I don't think I've ever seen in anime films beyond like this era, like the 60s to 70s. Like, I think it kind of went out by the time of the 70s, but a lot of the, the classic Disney films all have musicals in them, like songs in them. Like, you just don't get that in animation too much anymore, like in the modern stuff. Like Pixar films that have musicals in them, I don't think. I know, well, I guess the Disney stuff still does. Obviously Frozen had Let It Go and all that, so. But anyway, yeah, really cool. Horace, Prince of the Sun. Really enjoyed this. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. There's a song in this that a girl sings. He ends up meeting this girl, and when he first meets her, there's this song she sings, which is, again, super old-fashioned, but the voice of the actress, her singing it, was incredible. I watched this in Japanese, and yeah, the song is really good. I've listened to it a bunch of times, but yeah, Horace, Prince of the Sun. I highly recommend this if you like old-style animation as well as like the new stuff. And especially if you had an interest in like Studio Ghibli. Plus the extras on this are crammed full. Amazing discotheque release, amazing. I also got another gift. This is from my sister. I got Tales from Earthsea on Blu-ray. Now this is Blu-ray and DVD. This is like probably the most controversial Studio Ghibli film because people just straight up didn't like it. This is the one that was done by his son, Miyazaki's son. Goro Miyazaki, he directed it, and that was a controversial choice that he hadn't really earned it, basically. He hadn't earned the right to go so far as to direct a film, as far as I'm aware. Like, I'm pretty sure that also, and the fact it's based on a novel, much loved novel, series of novels, it kind of opened itself up to people just getting annoyed about it, like not being a good version of the story. But I've never read the books, and again, I'm just going to put this out there. This is one of the first Ghibli films I ever saw, if not the first, maybe. No, I think I've seen Spirited Away before this, but this might have been one of the first Studio Ghibli films I saw. And I like this film. I like its opening. I like its quiet opening. Like, it kind of reminds me of Nausicaa Valley of the Wind in terms of its style. And yeah, I don't know, like, I just liked its kind of calm approach to things. Like, I like the battle at the end in the castle, which is it's like equally epic as it is calm and empty in a way. Like, it's interesting. Like, yeah, I really like this film. Like, it's not a masterpiece, it's not Studio Ghibli's best, but I don't hate it by any means. I think it's a perfectly fine film. It's not amazing. It's, not up there with Studio Ghibli's best by any means, but it deserves more credit than I think it gets. It's not a terrible movie by any means. Like, when I think of some of the Studio Ghibli films that come out, like, and I don't want to start openly criticising films for no reason, but it's just, like, I like The Cat Returns, but I like this film as well. Like, is The Cat Returns seriously anything more significant than this? Like, The Cat Returns is kind of a simple film, and Tales from Earthsea is perfectly fine, I think. But again, I haven't read the books, so whatever. I also got this from my sister, but I can't watch it yet, unfortunately. This is the documentary, The Kingdom of Dreams and Madness. This is a documentary that followed, it was basically a behind-the-scenes documentary as the films. It was Tale of Princess Kaguya and I think The Wind Rises. But basically it follows, over the course of a year, the film follows director Miyazaki and producer Suzuki and the elusive and influential other director Isao Takahata as the studio rushes to complete two films, Miyazaki's The Wind Rises and Takahata's The Tale of Princess Kaguya. And the result is an entertaining insight into the dreams, passion, and singular dedication of these remarkable creators. But yeah, we got a DVD physical release of this film. A shame it's not on Blu-ray, but I can kind of understand why it wouldn't be. It's probably not going to sell that much. But there's actually one of two documentaries that Studio Canal put out in English. There's this one, and then there's also another one that's a complete behind-the-scenes making of just the Tale of Princess Kaguya, which I will be getting as well. But yeah, I still haven't watched The Wind Rises. I got it last year. I still haven't watched it, and I still haven't seen Tale of Princess Kaguya either. But once I do that, I will definitely check this out. really awesome. Okay, penultimately, Heat Guy J, the complete series. This I got from my auntie. This complete Funimation release. It's actually the Save edition, even though it comes in like the old style slipcase with the 2 thin DVDs inside. It's a series I tried to watch like 2 years ago, but I was ill and I couldn't quite get into it. Also, it didn't actually match my expectations of what the series was about. I thought the series was mainly about this guy, and this guy being a super badass. Instead, he's actually like a yes man to this guy here, who's supposedly more the badass character to some degree. Yeah, it's okay. Like, it was alright, it just didn't blow me away, and I was ill when I was watching it, and I just kind of drifted away from it, but, you know, I've got it now, again, in a more compact, nicer release, and, yeah, I will be giving it a second chance. I know Rock God Itachi really likes this show, and he's been wanting me to give it a second chance, so I will. And, yeah, it does have the Escaflowne, character design, as you can see, which is kind of cool. So, yeah, Heat Guy J. And finally, I'm going to quickly talk about this. This I didn't get for Christmas. Some of you might remember me picking this up. Most of you probably won't. But anyway, this is Area 88. This is the 80s OVA. I picked up, well I didn't pick up, I received from my mother the complete TV series. This is the 2004 remake, readaptation. It's 12 episodes. This is the UK release. Since this is buying like a compact release of this now is really hard. I remember this being available everywhere once upon a time, and I kept meaning to get it, but didn't. And I highly regret that. But hey, I've got it now, so it doesn't really matter. But I highly regret that because when I watched this in early December. It blew my socks off. This is... let's move that slightly out of the way. This is amazing. This is one of the best anime movies, OVAs, however you want to put it, ever. Like, this version though, this is the ADV version, it does mean... Originally this was a 3-episode OVA. The third OVA is still intact in its complete form. It was a movie. And then the first 2 were 50 minutes and like, I think it was like 100 minutes. I can't remember. I can't remember. But basically the first 2 OVAs got cut and edited together to make a movie that matched the running time of the final OVA, which was movie length. So basically it's now 2 movies. That does mean that a bunch of it got cut out, like I said, but honestly, this is the first and only version I've ever watched, which is the 2 movies. I didn't really feel like I missed anything. Like, this is a perfectly understandable story for like the first movie. Like, I didn't feel like anything was missing. I felt like, if anything, like whatever, and this is obviously from the perspective of only seeing the edited version, but I can't imagine anything really being needed to be added. Like, whatever, and this is what I've kind of seen online. Like, a lot of people say that what was in the original OVA was kind of padded out anyway, like those flashbacks and stuff. And I would like to see that stuff. The only way to do that for both the original OVAs is on Laserdisc. The first OVA was released uncut on DVD from Central Park Media, but the only way to see the second one uncut is on Laserdisc in English. But anyway, yeah, this is an amazing set of 2 films, and the DVD quality of this is incredible. It's remastered from the Japanese DVD remasters, and it looks amazing. Like, looks as good as a DVD can possibly look. And yeah, if a Blu-ray ever came out of this, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. But if it doesn't, this will more than do, because it looks incredible. Yeah, I love the music, I love the animation. The story is kind of something you've seen told before, probably more than once, but it's done well enough. And just some of the set pieces with the action, the character designs, the animation overall, it's just fantastic. So I was then, having fallen in love with this, I had to see this, which is the adaptation, the 12-episode adaptation 2004, which obviously is based on a manga, so I imagine this, and at this point the manga would have been long finished, so I imagine that this is a more complete version. It probably includes a lot of stuff that was probably maybe in that first and second OVA that got edited together for a movie. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, at 12 episodes, it's only 5 hours, I think. Yeah, about 5 hours would be 12 episodes. So it's not actually a lot longer than this. And yeah, so like this is just over 3 hours. And if you think of the stuff that was cut out of the first two, it's probably more like 3.5 hours originally. So it's not a lot longer, but yeah. The only thing that worries me about watching this version is I love the animation of this version. It was done on traditional cell. Everything here will be digital and probably CG as well. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to look, but I don't know what the music will be like, because the music, again, it's going to have to go a long way, this version, to beat this, because this highly recommended, like, so much. But yeah, that's what I got for my Christmas and birthday. Videos won't be this long in the future. I was just messing about doing this, really. I don't know how much I'll do with my face on camera, but I think I'd do it once at the very least, just so you guys can put a face to the voice, as it were. Yeah, so, oh yeah, that's my new camera as well. It's gone, I hope it went well. Looks pretty good from what I can see on the screen in front of me, but yeah, I'm Blaze, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Or forever, because I can't find the record button. There it is. Okay, bye.